all roads are going to lead to your website. So you have to make sure your website is good. And you have to make sure that your website is prepared to receive online visitors. Okay? Look, 91% of people are going to use Google when they need something. All right? In fact, there's I wrote this down, 8.5 billion Google searches a day. Okay? There's more than one Google search per person on this planet. Are we still under 8.5 billion people on here? Per day, right? People are going to start on Google. And when they go to Google, they want to learn about your church, they're not going to go to Facebook or Instagram. That's not going to be their decision making. Okay? That's where you kind of see some of the culture behind the scenes. Are these people crazy? But that's not where they're going to necessarily plan a visit unless it's within a plan a visit specific ad. Okay? So when you're planning your Christmas services and events or any events, a lot of times online is treated like an afterthought. A lot of church leaders and communicators will tell me, hey, we're doing this great thing. We've got posters. We've got invite cards. We made a couple posts. And I'm like, all right, so if someone wants to know more information about the church, they're going to go to your website. Is your website ready? And I go and look on their website and they still got Thanksgiving information up. They still got the old pastor's picture up. It's slow loading. It doesn't look good on mobile. I can't find my way around. Or worse, I open up the website and I just see a menu of a million things to do. And I don't know how to find what I'm looking for. Okay. Online, when it comes to promotion, can no longer be an afterthought. It's not something you do to enhance what's in person. It's something you do to match what you're doing in person. Okay. And I'm not saying do everything you do in person online. I'm not saying you have to broadcast your Christmas cantata. That's great. If you want to do that, great. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. That's your prerogative. That's your right. But use online to promote and get people into that event or into that service. So you have to make sure that your online presence is ready and welcome to receive guests. In the same way that we pay for lawn maintenance. Someone needs to come mow the church grass. And someone needs to go out and trim the flowers, which, by the way, I love. My pastor, manly man, would go out and trim the bushes, right? Because that's fine. That's cool. That's what he was doing. That was his version of plunging the toilet as a pastor. But we get the parking lines spray painted. We make sure the asphalt's updated. We put a roof on our thing. We do all this to make sure that our guests feel welcome and comfortable, but they're not coming because they don't have a good first impression because we're not maintaining and upkeeping our online presence. We're not making sure that our website is helpful, which, by the way, the most recent Google search update is now checking at how helpful your content, your website content is. If it's not helpful, they're starting to downrank it. So your content needs to be helpful if you want to stay on the first page of Google, or even if you're not there, if you want to have any shot. It needs to be helpful. And information isn't always helpful. Sometimes information is daunting. Okay? So what do you do about it? Number one, you got to plan for your online guests as much as you plan for your in-person guests. If you're multicasting, whatever you're doing for your services, great. Make sure you make it easy to find. Okay. If you're doing a live service, put a drop down. Live now. Live in 3 days. I don't really care for that, by the way. Like the whole live in 3 days. That doesn't help me. Right. I can figure that out by seeing when your service times are. A drop down that might say what to expect. So I can go see what a sermon like, what does last year's cantata look like, what's available for my kids. That's all great, right? If that's the primary step I should take, make it super easy to take. And by the way, most people visiting your Christmas page the week of Christmas are going to be looking for Christmas stuff. So make it easy. Put that on your front page. Don't change your homepage, but there's a way you can do it to where you have like a special Christmas landing page or at least a special Christmas section of your website. Okay. But don't make it an afterthought. Do it in tandem with your in-person promotions. You'll actually see more people come to your church Christmas events when you do more intentional planning online. And not only that, this is a great time to simplify your online presence. All the stuff that Miss Clara and Mr. Frank wanted you to put on the website because he's a trustee and this has to be on here. Look, more power to Mr. Frank, but this is a great time to take that off. Frank, I understand it's important. We're going to take it off for Christmas. It's irrelevant. To the number of new faces we want to come in here, we want them to see Jesus, not legalese. So we're going to take it off. And maybe you just forget to put it back on. But this is a great time to simplify your website. All the stuff, all the buttons that people aren't clicking, take them off. They're useless. All right. You know that we preach a lot about your first impression on your homepage. If you want to take one action, what's that one action? Make that the only thing people can do on your homepage. We call it the Definitive Church website homepage. All right. Simplify it. Make it easy. Okay. Because when people come to your website, they're not just looking for a reason to come. They're looking for a reason to bounce. And if you give them too many reasons to come, that's enough reason to bounce. Boy, this church is doing a lot of stuff. I'm just looking for a small church. Okay, I can't tell you how many churches I see that have a staff and leadership page of 30 people and there's 50 people in the church. That's misleading, right? I can't tell you how many times I go to a small church website and they got a whole menu of 8 things that you can join and be a part of. I'm just looking for a small church. Let me bounce. I just want to go to Sunday service. I don't see anything about Sunday service. I see lots of stuff about these other things, but not as much about Sunday service. I'm a bounce. Okay. People are looking for reasons. All right. If someone is especially a lost person, they're going to come in here. And if they don't understand what you're saying, they're going to bounce. So you got to keep it clear. You got to keep it concise. You got to keep it simple. Simplify your online presence. Okay. And by the way, if you want to get that definitive homepage framework, you can go to navachurchwebsite.com. I think I lost my title card. navachurchwebsite.com. You can download that one-page framework. We're going to give you every single section you need on your homepage, from the welcome to the video to the pain points that you're gonna really lean in and say, this is why Jesus is here and calling to you. Testimonials you need to put on there, online guest gifts that you need to put on there. All this stuff is on there. navachurchwebsite.com. Look, every minute that you plan your Christmas event, but you don't promote it, you're leaving opportunity on the table. You're just leaving it behind, because there are people out there searching for these Christmas events and services, and you're not there. And when you're not there, they can't go to you here.